One of my favorite photographers is Joseph Kudelka. He did that book on the gypsies. Fantastic. So I'm really more of that kind of photographer, a black and white traditional photographer, but I've got nothing against color, and I can really use color for the benefit of color when it's appropriate. Yeah.
I can see that. I was actually going to ask you if you have a preference for black and white or color. I myself, as a photographer, I'm colorblind. Well, colorblind, even if I wasn't a photographer. And so I never really looked for color. And I think that helped me see contrast more than anything. And I like to prioritize color if it's like part of the composition. Like one photo I had, it's a yellow phone booth on a blue brick wall. And just because of that contrast of color, I really liked that. But yeah, I have a real preference for black and white myself as well.
Well, I mean, everything I do a lot of traveling, and my wife and I, she loves to travel. She's German. She was born in East Germany, and then her family moved to the West. But I actually met her on the 20th anniversary of Tiananmen Square. The BBC flew me to Beijing for a secret documentary, and we walked around the areas and even filmed me in the same room that I took the picture. And I even got, since I lost the telephoto that I took the Tank Man photo with, I was in a cyclo, you know, the little kind of rickshaw things, and right in front of the diplomatic compound when they had the shooting. And it was in all the news. They shot up all the windows. And I ran out of the cyclo down this vendor alley, and the lens went flying out of my Levi jacket and crashed on the ground. Well, I thought I was going to die. I wasn't going back for the lens, and I just kept running. Fortunately, the teleconverter was still in my pocket. And that teleconverter is what allowed me to get twice as close as 3 of the other guys who shot that picture. And again, I don't know where we were going. Where are we going?
Oh, it doesn't matter. We're just on a journey. I was actually. Sorry, go ahead.
It's really bad because I've been banged on the head in Bangladesh. I had a rock hit me in the face during the Tiananmen uprising. I've had ex-girlfriend, an Israeli girlfriend, beat me in the head. I mean, you suffer a lot as a journalist.
Yeah, I'd watched some videos and some of your previous interviews regarding that photo and the Tiananmen uprising there. And yeah, I don't know what it was. Like maybe it was because you were closer than the other guys, but the Vice has a video out there with some British photographers, Stuart something, that took kind of a similar, yeah. Yeah, and a couple, you know, and there was others there, and there's kind of that hotel you're at. The other reports say that there's a lot of photojournalists there. And I guess kind of the rooms or balconies are facing Tiananmen Square there. But for some reason, your photo was the one that, you know, that kind of stuck. And it was the one that, you know, kind of made its rounds around the world. You know, it was the shot heard around the world, or seen in this case.
It was the first one to be transmitted. Reuters screwed up. And I'm not going to mention his name because I feel sorry for him in a way. But he missed the guy in front of the tank, and he got a call from New York, wherever Reuters headquarters was, London, and they said, "Hey, take another look at these pictures of the tanks. You sure you don't see a guy standing in front?" And he went back and looked, and finally he sees the guy. And then I can't imagine how he must have felt, because it moved hours later, missed all the deadlines. It was fronting half page on all the UK papers, all the London papers, half page. It was unheard of, something like that. Life magazine, when it went big, small, double truck, 2-page spread, which is a fantasy of mine since I was 12 years old. I mean, it was incredible. Congratulations. It was incredible. Congratulations. FORTIS, newspaper Liberation, when in France wanted this exclusive interview. And yeah, when I took it, you know, I had a concussion. I got slammed in the head, and I was sick with the flu. So I really wasn't thinking clearly. And I thought the picture was okay, but it wasn't, you know, it wasn't something spectacular. But as the years went by, you know, I guess the first time I thought it was important, I was in Honolulu working on a newspaper, and I was sitting at home on my computer, and I saw something flash up about AOL. You know, AOL used to have little photos of all time. So, you know, when I was a kid, I was 12 years old. I had the Time Life series of books. You know, I was looking at all the iconic images, you know, like there was Joe Rosenthal's Flag Raised of Iwo Jima, who I got to talk to on the phone one time for an hour. That was great. Another great story. And then there was the Hindenburg crash, even Neil Armstrong on the moon. I think that was, or maybe Armstrong took the picture of Buzz. And that's another one I got to meet, have breakfast with Buzz Aldrin, the guy who stood in the moon. That's another thing. But all these iconic images that I had seen. But the strangest thing was, and I swear to God, I had this kind of like ESP thing. And it's kind of creepy. A lot of things that I have thought, or dreams or whatever you want to call it, have come true. And I looked at that book of those iconic images, and I got this cold sensation down my legs and spine. I thought I would end up having an iconic image. And sure enough, that AOL thing, a little blurb turned into a color flash of my tank picture.
Amazing.
And it hit me like a bolt of lightning. That was the first time I realized I'd accomplished something really important.